my Minister Supreme, with my brethren Logic. We up here representing Stolen from Africa, Reminisce Show, because we go capture this Toronto history all day, every day. We're going to check this Honey Jam interview with the one and only SadBoi. Gonna get some insights, some music, and hopefully get a little exclusive or one or two. But you know, we in the streets, so we here capturing this Toronto history. Enough love to everybody who tunes in. Mwah.
And this is Stolen from Africa.
Buddies. All I hear around is buddies. They on my time.
Thank you very much for the vulnerability and talking about how your first heartbreak, unfortunately, helped to create your SadBoi persona. And I was just wondering how your growth as an artist over your career has affected your ability to have relationships and connect to people.
Dating someone who is an artist is not very. That's one thing like I learned. But I think like, you know, like from like my experiences, I just find like it feels almost like a competition. Like at least like from like my standpoint, like I haven't been in a situation where I feel like it's like supported. Like I just feel like whenever I've dated someone that was like in the industry, they're just kind of like, you're not really doing the same thing, especially men. No shade, sorry, but it's just
Drop
like,
the
you're
truth.
not, like,
Drop
up
the
to
truth.
par. Like you're not doing like, yeah, like you have this going on, but I have this. So I think like for me, like I kind of just got to a place where it's like, what is it that I want, and what do I need like in a relationship, and I just like go off of that. But outside of that, it's just living, you know, like I'm young, just enjoy it, be in the moment, because I think it's easy to get wrapped up in like the politics of like, you know, that stuff. So yeah.
I hope you're loved and appreciated.
I've always been like a fan of like fashion. So like even when it comes to like my music, I think naturally it's just something that like I'm drawn to. So like I always like name drop whatever my favorite designer is at the time, like in my songs, or like I make sure like I'm wearing something that like, you know, someone who's like big up there will be like, oh, SadBoi wear this. Like we have to get out here for Fashion Week. But I do want to like, you know, continue to like grow outside of like music. I always said if I was to be in a movie, like I'd have to be in like a thriller movie. Because I just can't, I don't think like I could do like comedy. Like I just don't think I'm like funny. But I
You're
think,
funny,
like,
girl. You're funny.
You think so?
Yeah.
But I think I could do like thriller, or like maybe like a Mr. and Miss Smith. Like that's like my vibe. Like I have to do something like that. But yeah, like for sure, going outside of like that is like something that I do want to do at some point, and am working towards. Okay. But for me, like, I think the hardest thing for social media for me was TikTok.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, damn, I'm supposed to like pop my phone up and like do these videos, but like I didn't, which I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
Until I seen, kind of like how it paid off in a way, where like people were like, but it paid off like with me like finding like what it is that I wanted to do and doing it. But like because I feel like people will be like, oh, you have to do like a TikTok and do this. But when you just go on TikTok and you do whatever it is you want to do, it's just like, oh, I enjoy it.
See, man just love to chat when he's screaming for the guys.
It's great to see you as a supportive mother to your amazing daughter. And I was just thinking over, like, we've seen parental trial, you know, from the Jacksons, you know, Papa Jackson wasn't the best, but we've also seen Britney Spears and her situation and stuff, and from what I can tell, it looks like a very healthy situation. But like, what do you do as a mother to kind of like make sure you don't follow some of the more problematic situations that have happened in the past where parents and children have been working together?
Well, to be honest, I was never into music. I listened to it, but it was never anything that I wanted to do personally myself. So, and she's actually the first person in our family that's even doing any of these things. I was in banking for almost 20 years. And so, I mean, she's my daughter first. And so for me, it's always been I've always been worried about her, like always worried about her. Like before actually managing her, she was actually managed by an actual company that was, official. Like they knew what they were doing. She was underage, so I still went everywhere with her, and like I would kind of watch from the outside, but seeing what's happening. But I mean, like she's the most important person or thing to me, like in out of everything in life, right? So, she didn't mention it, but when the question was asked about like a time that was really challenging, right before the name change, she was dropped from her first record deal, and that started a really bad. I don't know if you want to, it was a depression. Like she got really skinny. I've never seen her look so bad. But that was, so music, everything else had to come secondary because her health, right? And so I think that I can't really speak for, apart from what everybody else probably would have read about the past and other artists and their, momagers or their fathers, whatever, managing them. But I can just say for Eb, it's just like, and the same thing for me. If we're somewhere and somebody disrespects me and it's happened, I mean, watch out for her more than you're watching for me, right? But I just think that it's just like one of those things where it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but I just think, like I said, like at the beginning, I think it's just that we did everything together. So she understands the business. So I think there's no like making her or asking her to do something that just is not right. Even like sometimes she might not want to do, but if it's wrong, you can't get her to do it. She won't. I honestly think for me, like we're a team. So I think we're a team on like a lot of things, even just outside of music. I don't necessarily, like now it's a bit different. I think she's a lot busier and like we both are busier. And so we have more like defined roles. But I would say that like for the longest time, we did everything together. So it was like, what do you think about this? Or like, oh, this email came in, you wouldn't believe it. Or, or she would say something to me about something. And I think that we kind of grew together. I would say that more recently, she's definitely my boss. But it works. Because I think that maybe it's, I think the nice, and it's funny listening to her talk because there's so many things that I feel like she's not saying or it's not coming, I don't hear it as much because she's truly a super strong person. And I think that I've learned a lot from her. And I think that like as we go through whatever it is happening day by day, I think she is the one who pushes me forward because she knows exactly what she wants. But she's not difficult, but it's like you really need to hear her out before you make a decision because it can change because she really does think a lot of things through. So I think that things work because we understand that about each other. And so it's like, it's never my decision, it's always her decision. And I really value her decision because I can just like, oh, I didn't think about that, or that's amazing, But I think that she's easy to talk to as well. If I'm like, hey, Eb, like, this is what I'm thinking. And we fight a lot sometimes too. But it's still one of those things where it's an open space to have whatever type of conversation that needs to be had. Like, I remember her being in high school. And I can literally name the people that really supported her as far as like putting her in like certain positions. Like we talk about this often. We say like, let's write a list. So it's like, okay, this person really did this for her or for me and this person. And I remember her doing a lot of like opening up for people, but she was still in high school. And we were doing like after parties here, and someone came up to me recently and was like, I was having her host like these after parties, and like she wasn't old enough to get in. I'm like, I remember her, but it was like, but she was making good money. Like, I mean, to be like grade 11 maybe, and like $500 on a weekend was great. So I was like, okay, you're soon have to go to college, university. What are you gonna do? She's like, nothing. I'm gonna do music. And I'm like, no, what's the plan B? She's like, there isn't a plan B. And I remember going to the school and talking to the guidance counselor, like, I need help. Like this is what she's saying, and again, she's a Sag, so there's no changing her mind. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. And so I think it was a really young age. But at first I was like, this is just fun. Like, some kids do soccer or they, and she just wants to go to a studio and make a cute song. That's what I thought it was for the longest. And then it was this like, when we actually had to start making like real life plans, she was just like, no. I'm not, she never wavered, never considered anything else.
So we just finishing off here for the 30th anniversary Honey Jam event, SadBoi Talks. It was really dope. Ebhoni Road did another good event. We had to be up in the cut. Shout out to all the people in the building. the Much Music host. She was dope. Shout out to Johnny up in the cut. Shout out to homegirls like Vivian Barclay, all up in the spot. So we got some good artists too. Good people in the scene. It was just another good gathering. It was also on time, and it had food at the end, and it had a great Q&A that the audience got to connect to SadBoi. Proper ways to do events, and we still carrying on the tradition in Toronto. Happy to be here. It's Mindbender with Logic, stolen from Africa, Reminisce Show. Love you, Toronto.
I'm going after the true knowledge of self, stolen from Africa.